Here is a 2024 Mercedes-Maybach GLS 600 with a two-tone obsidian black and rubellite red metallic. This year, we're getting upgraded wheels, tweaked in the front fascia, just shy from being the best in class in horsepower. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and in the front full LED headlights with a multi-beam system, Mercedes laser lights, and on the lower, you're gonna notice the change. You get the Maybach badging on the air inlets. The grille has been tweaked a little bit with the Maybach badging as well. You're gonna have more of that 63 styling, so the vertical lines, it's gonna be more chromed out because this is the Maybach, and the 3-point badge on the long hood. The stance of the Maybach is going to be very similar to the GLS 63S, except you are losing a little bit of horsepower and torque out of that bi-turbo engine. Underneath the hood, housing a 4.0 liter V8 bi-turbo producing 550 horsepower. That's over 50 horsepower less than the 63 with 538 pound-feet of torque paired to a 9G-tronic automatic transmission, achieving 14 mpgs for the city and 19 mpgs for the highway, which when you're at this price, you're not going to be concerned about it. The color itself is almost the price of a Toyota or a Honda because it's nearly $19,000 for this two-tone. This year they option a 23-inch wheel. We have the 22-inch wheel. This is a staggered setup, and it's insane the size of this wheel. This is a 285/40 up front, 325/35 out back. You need to have a deep wallet when you're looking at a Maybach. With self-leveling E-active body control, the 4MATIC, that is the permanent all-wheel drive, Airmatic air suspension. So you're receiving all the components, more or less, of a GLS 63S, but more luxurious styled. The chrome elements is going to come all over because this is the Maybach. When you open up the soft closed doors, you get the running boards with the Maybach badging. But the only thing that I kind of wish that they would have done for a styling element, delete this chrome here and make it look like a longer window so it'd have a longer look visually, because you have such a wide profile stance in this, comparing it to the BMW XB7 or Alpina. That's going to be the best in class with horsepower. This is going to be more than the Range Rover Sport, and Audi doesn't really make a vehicle that goes into this class. You can get the RSQ8, which is going to have a detuned, more or less, Lamborghini engine, and that's more or less a performance variant, where this has everything that you would want from an S-Class into an SUV. LED taillights, the gloss black elements are going to surround the oval-shaped window, and it's going to be more of the box for the SUV, which, because this is only optioned as a 4 or 5-seater, kind of wish that they did a coupe in it also, so that way it has the two different variants for sport and luxury, front and rear parking sensors, and a 360-degree reverse camera. Power liftgate and kick to open. Going inside the cargo, it is going to sit up, but that's not a problem because you can lower the suspension right here, in which it'll make the loading process a lot easier for you. Underneath the floor, gets the tools. Look at all the goodies that you get with this vehicle. These are all pillows for the back seats. Maybach badging, Burmaster sound system. We need to go inside, start up this bi-turbo so you can hear that exhaust note. Headroom and leg room. You're going to have a lot of space, and this is going to be more presidential in the front and also the rear, which you'll see ambient lighting that's going to surround the whole lower dash, going into the door panels and on the grab handles for the center cluster. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. You have augmented navigation for the heads-up display. And we have that off-roading where you can make the vehicle do some movements for you so you can get out of any obstacle. Put it into reverse We have a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. And with any Mercedes, you're going to have a lot of different camera angles. So you can tailor this any which way to make it easier for your reversing, and you can move it around for the 3D also. And you can do an auto. That way it's higher up. Air vents inside the wood inlays. Napa leather is going to be surrounding pretty much the whole vehicle, even the headliner with the ambient lighting for the large moon roof and the upgraded Burmester sound system, auto dimming rear view mirror. The center opens up into a wireless charging pad, USB 12 volts, and this is the key fob for the Maybach. Now I have a 63 just to show you the difference. You'll have the AMG badging. Touchpad, dynamics. And this is going to change your driving mode select. You can individual, sport, comfort, you can do Maybach. Everything's self-explanatory and easy. Palm rest with the Maybach badging, raising and lowering the suspension. Open up inside. It's a deep storage pocket with another USB port, and it's all soft to touch leather wrap steering wheel, 3-spoke multi-function with adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist. These are touch sensitive, and a gauge cluster that's fully reconfigurable. So when you click into the home, you can change out the whole layout to any design that you would like, including that off-road page. And the door panel and the dash configure into each other, getting the soft materials everywhere, one touch up and down. For the windows, a large storage pocket with at least 2 beverage holders carved out. For the back seats, we have the 5-seat option, which I've reviewed the 4-seat option, so you can see the difference, and I'll link that video at the end. Headroom and leg room. You're gonna have quite a bit of space because this is not a 3rd row variant. Total of 5 climate controls, heated ventilated rear seats. These are also massage seats as well as power seat adjustment. In the center, you'll still get a wireless charging pad and some storage here and some storage back here also.
How can I help?
Memory seats with the ambient lighting that goes all the way through. Power sunshades, which you can open on all sides.
I'm sorry, but
Soft materials that's going to surround everything, and a large storage pocket. You can recline these seats back so it's like a couch at home. You can also adjust these to tailor around your head for a cushion or like a pillow. I'm gonna move my phone so we can slide this up. Sliding into the center. Even though you sit up, it's not too bad. You have your own feet space. It's a wide vehicle. Butt and shoulder space is not really going to be shared, as well as head space. It's still doable, but it's going to be a little bit more comfortable on the sides. You have storage behind both of the front seats with the wood that contrasts the leather with the heated and cooled cup holder. 550 horsepower, 538 pound-feet of torque. Now it is detuned compared to the GLS63, in which I kind of wish they gave a little bit more power, because when you go into BMW for the X7 M60i, it's going to be less power than the XB7, in which this is better than the M60, but the XB7 has the most horsepower in its class. The Range Rover Sport will be underneath this, so it does still have a sweet spot because you're getting full luxury, super quiet ride, which you're going to see. And this is with 22-inch wheels, and like I was saying outside, it's crazy the size of those wheels. Listen to that bi-turbo V8. That's just at a low RPM. You can still hear it, and that's pretty much all you can hear. Any other vehicle that has this type of wheel on it, you would hear a lot of road noise. And that's why when you go into the Maybach, it just becomes ultra plush. The seats are one of the most comfortable in class. It's actually a little bit more so than BMW, because that's going to be a little bit more sport derived, which I'm fine with that. The screen configuration layout, BMW is kind of copying it per se, except with Mercedes, they're not doing a curved display. It's a simple display layout that still is viewable for the passenger, instead of making it tilted a little bit more for a driver-focused setup. Before we get to performance, it's going to take me to some pros and cons, starting off with the pros. This is, I said one of the most, this is actually the most. comfortable vehicle you can buy for an SUV. If you're okay with spending a couple of six figures on a SUV, I would say check it out because it is crazy. The back seat you can change as options of 4-seat or 5-seat. I would personally do the 5-seat because you're still getting the majority of the components you would get in the 4-seat, and you can actually fit 5 occupants. And sitting in the center isn't that bad, and it has 5-zone climate control. So that is pretty insane when you're thinking about that. Cargo capacity, because we do not have a third row, is even more optimal in this. So going on a long trip, I would put a ton of miles on this type of a car. The lane keep assist is one of the best in class too, because it just hugs you. You can kind of let the car drive for itself. And if you use the adaptive cruise control on the Benz, you get the most out of it. I mean, this thing can go probably near 2 miles without you being hardly engaged at all. Augmented navigation, so you can see everything in the heads-up display. You don't have to look off of the screen, and you have over 550 horsepower, so you have enough power underneath it. If you really need to move in and out, you can. It's a wider vehicle. The steering is very light, so you don't have to worry about that everyday drive making it uncomfortable. It's a longer vehicle, but it doesn't feel that long. And here we go. You get enough of the exhaust that filters in. The brakes are good. Visibility in the front is excellent. You can also raise and lower the suspension to make it more aggressive for the sport drive or make it more luxurious for the long drive. Going against rivals, this is a lot more quiet and featured up at the price than you would go into a Range Rover Sport, because you're already hovering near $200,000 when you get into an autobiography. And when you're at that price level, this is under 200 grand, and you're still getting more amenities inside this. As for the BMW, the M60i is good with performance. This is going to outdo it, and it doesn't really go in the same class as that. It goes against the XB7, in which that has more performance, and you have third row capabilities, whereas here you do not have that option. Going against a Rolls-Royce, you're going to be spending double, so you could buy a his and her, and you're getting just as smooth of a drive. The major difference between the two there really is the carpeting, because the carpet is a lot more thick. They do a good job here, but it's still not as thick as I would like it to be for the price. Now, I'm not a huge fan of some of the options in this, and the big problem that I have right off the top is if you option this two-tone, you're spending over $18,000. But I can understand, I mean, look at the wheels you have. You're gonna be spending at least $5,000, $10,000 to replace them. So when you're at this price, you're gonna be forking out the dough any which way you go. And the other con that is a big problem for me is that you're not getting the same horsepower and torque as you would with a GLS63. And I know it probably sounds like I'm being greedy, but when you're spending at least $40,000 to $50,000 more to get this, and I can appreciate what I'm getting, I still would have appreciated having the same exact engine. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Mercedes-Benz of Clearwater for giving us this 2024 Mercedes GLS 600 Maybach for our car review.